Hello there, survivors, and welcome back to another live stream or video, depending when you're watching this, I suppose. On ARK Survival Ascended, we're here on Lost Colony, of course, and got myself a very nice Chinese dragon here, because I figured, you know, that kind of fits what we're going to be building today, and that's also the reason why we'll be building in this kind of style, because obviously there's kind of two main directions you can go with for this map. Of course, the Gothic theme, but definitely some Chinese architecture. I think it's quite fitting, especially since we have this creature that was added with Lost Colony. I feel like it is totally a acceptable way to go with building, and besides, it's just a very fun style to work with. So that's what we'll be doing. I'll be building right over here, which is a nice little plateau overlooking the city in the background, which is definitely a really good build location, I think, for a base. It's got a nice little bridge. I've tested here a few cosmetics, and these ones just are prepared, guys, are prepared. These are the main two cosmetics that I'll probably be using for this build. Actually, already have a gate here, and that looks quite nice. Looks like it was made for that. It's just a normal dino gate, and then skinned with the first skin, the Chinese, well, Chinese skin, and yeah, then scaled up a little bit, and it fits this bridge perfectly. So that's the entrance to our little plateau here, which is going to be overlooking the city, and we're going to be building a nice little starter base. Hopefully, you know, a decent base with like a little bit of room for your basic needs, your crafting, etc. Let's send the dragon somewhere over there, because it kind of likes to fly off when you're not on it, to be honest. Not quite sure why they can't like have it be parked, because even if you tell it to go somewhere, it seems to just kind of wander off by itself. But yeah, it's kind of weird. The gate is from the first of the two skins, which is actually a really good one, and it's also a free one. So Golden Dynasty, it's a great pack. There's a lot in there. It is a premium one, but definitely worth getting, because it's got some of the nicest wood textures you'll ever see. But the other one is a free option. This is all from the free option. It has some pretty cool textures in there, and definitely a good alternative if you don't want or can't buy Golden Dynasty right away. Although I do think there's a new premium mod sale on for Christmas. I thought I saw something about that, so might be a good time. And Golden Dynasty, definitely one of my favorites, so can definitely recommend that one. Let me get some build pieces ready for today. I actually do want to have a few extra stone pieces here and there, so that we can do some building. And then also definitely we'll be using a bunch of wooden things, because, you know, starter base-ish. We want to keep it nice and doable for the early game. We'll bring all those ones out. Do I need anything else? I don't know. We'll find out. I think that's probably all that we want to start with. So for the main build, I think what we'll do is kind of lay out the kind of foundations, and then slowly take it from there. So I think most likely what we'll want is like a little bit of stables maybe over here, maybe some building in the corner, maybe like a small little pagoda, or maybe just a detached gazebo somewhere would be nice. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, whoever discovered that Chinese skin pack is a legend. Yeah, that is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Definitely some cool things in there. So yeah, we'll see. We'll go for a little starter base here. Let's see, how far do we go out here? So what I'm thinking is I kind of want to have like a little platform around my actual build. So my actual house, I think, is going to be 3 wide. Can I? Ooh. The landscape isn't as flat here as I thought. So I kind of need to worry about that as well. Okay, that I can do. So that's going to be 3. And maybe that would be the size of the main house. Right? And then can I? Yeah, that would be the main house. So that's probably gonna be like 2 pillars high, I think. I mean, they're definitely similar architectures, but this is definitely the Chinese, since that's what the skin pack is about. And we have a Chinese dragon here, so that's why I've mostly looked at some Chinese architecture for inspiration today. There we go. Let's see. What else do we want for this build? So I would really like a little side building here, because that also would allow us to go around the corner and add some stables and stuff. And it looks like we'll at least have more foundation support over here. We'll be able to go out. Oh, did I place another one down somewhere here? I don't know. Can't really see. Looks like I did. Let me, don't want to show my password. Let me ghost. Think something placed under the ground. There we go. So yeah, we can go this way. That's just what I want to know. See if we can actually go there. Wait, is this tree somehow blocking the snow on top of the structure? That is pretty cool if that is actually a thing. But yeah, it's good that yeah, that we can at least go over there. There you go. Got some experts in the chat. I think building-wise, Club ARK is great. It's designed by Fizz, who does a great job. The games themselves sometimes are a bit buggy because I don't know if the highest priority currently is Club ARK. Okay, so we have the main building, or what's going to be the main building over here. And then what I want to do is I want to have like basically a raised up stone part around it where you can walk around. So we'll have it surrounded by a bigger foundation. And then I think I'd want to have some like stairs going off from there, and then depending if it will actually allow me to do this, I might have to ghost to place the sides here, but that is all fine. So yeah, we have kind of like a little stone foundation where the building will set on. I think that is quite a cool look. And then we'll probably have the door being very central, I think is a nice thing to do. So I'll probably have like a main door over here. There we go. And then we can just kind of go off to the sides, I guess, with these. Why is this not actually... Oh, I didn't change the variant. There we go. I was gonna say, why is it not meeting or, you know, connecting in the right way? So interestingly, this is actually, we actually need to do this to have the windows in a nice way, because of course the middle is taken up by the door. So we kind of want to continue these, I think, so that we can create some nice shapes for our windows. And I think we just want to fill these in. Then we're going to fill those in, but obviously we're going to change those skins to be windows. Is wood safe for Lost Colony? I mean, you know, you can keep it safe. Nothing's really safe on Lost Colony, I don't think. Although we've been living out of a wood house and we've mostly been fine. So I'm actually thinking that I quite like these structures. Let me actually try and find which skin is... You know what? Let's first build the building and then we'll worry about the skins. For now, I'm going to leave the gaps open to make the windows known. And I think I want to have the roof overlap outside a little bit, just to make it more 3D right away. There we go. Let's see. The other side of the build. I think we'll probably want to meet, or, you know, kind of match up with those kind of vibes as well. But then maybe the center can just be normal ones, and then we can go across the bottom like so. We can have those in there, and then I connect up those top parts as well. So we'll have the windows both at the front and at the back, because especially here, you know, we'll have some amazing views. So we definitely want to keep that in there. And then we can probably just kind of have the ledge on this side too. I mean, yeah, it is kind of in tribute to Mei Ying, right? I feel like that is why we got the Chinese dragon and stuff. I feel like that's why they added like that influence into the map. You can even hear it in the main Lost Colony theme, right? There's a little bit of her theme woven into that. So yeah, I feel like that is why we do it, as tribute. There we go. A vampire themed castle. I do have some plans like that. I just want to figure out the best skins to use, because the Lost Colony cosmetic, there's some cool pieces in there, but it is quite busy. It doesn't have the stained glass that I so wished for. And so a full castle, I think, is going to be very busy if you just use that cosmetic. So might have to test a little bit more and find some combinations. But I do have some plans of builds that are coming up over the next few weeks whilst we enjoy Lost Colony. So I also want to rebuild some of the existing locations. I'm currently working on a best base location video, trying to get some really cool spots out there. I didn't want to rush it out. I really wanted to take my time to actually find good spots, both nice looking spots and maybe, you know, some slightly safer locations and stuff. So yeah. And for the gothic theme builds, I really think we need to look into combinations with other cosmetics and maybe vanilla structures, you know, kind of see what we can get away with building some bigger builds. But yeah, definitely on the list, definitely planned, because we can't really play this map and not at least do one build like that. Okay, so let's see. If we just have walls here, I feel like we might do some extra pillars, and maybe we'll do something like this. And then we'll just do a normal window. There we go. Maybe something like that. I don't know if that's gonna work with the skin, but we'll see that stage when we get to it. I do think that is kind of the basics for the bottom part of this building. Of course, it's quite a simple start here. There we go. Actually, we probably want to start out with ramps. You know, to kind of curve the roof in a little bit. So we'll start out with some ramps here on the corners. There we go. And then we can take out the ramps to connect the rest of this layer too. That didn't go well. There we go. So that's the first layer, and then I think, yeah, we definitely want to kind of curve into it. So the second layer could be more like this. So it's not going to be like a giant build, or, well, the house isn't going to be giant, since we are going to add like a few more buildings around it. It's going to be kind of like a... Oh, that didn't go right. That was not where it was supposed to go. Yeah, we're going to have a few buildings connected to each other, so separately they don't need to be giant, because together they will make, hopefully, for quite a nice build. So we'll add a few of these pieces in. There we go, because I think that's kind of like the little vibe. And it's an early game base anyway, so we shouldn't go crazy with the sizes anyway. So yeah, I think that's going to be nice. And then maybe we can add some like fancy details on the roof. That would be cool. Does that mean... I guess it means that we could at least have like a little bedroom up here somewhere, right? Like, obviously, it's maybe not a fully fledged extra room, but surely if you do, you know, if you just go around like this, you could at least have like a little bedroom up there. Do I want that for the entire layer? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Feel like stairs wise, it's probably best to add the stairs in here. So maybe what we'll do is have those, and then we can have a small stair coming down from there. There we are. Can we already... We can still not snap to those. That is great, isn't it? So yeah, if I don't do the entire floor, I guess we'll have that one there. Although, I mean, we could use the entire floor, of course. There we go. I guess then we wouldn't need the slope wall. We could just utilize the entire upper floor. I mean, it's probably not going to be much more than a cozy bedroom. But still. Sometimes, I mean, it's still a decent amount of space that you can use here. I'm really hoping that we can find some kind of skin with a window here, but as far as I know, that's only really the frontier skin. I don't know if, I mean, there might be variants of the Golden Dynasty that we can have a little bit of like lattice walls or something, so that we can get a little bit of light in there, you know, getting those vibes across. And then I guess we want to add another build next to here. We are kind of going into the landscape here, so hopefully we can figure something out. Do I... Oh, we're gonna have to sort something out there, that's for sure. So, ideally, I think the size would be about there, maybe? So just like a small addition. For now, let's take out these. I guess maybe then we don't need all of this around here as well. We can kind of downscale that a little bit. There we go. And then I guess the next phase would be actually building this up. But that might be too low. I don't know. Maybe we need it slightly higher, because otherwise it's going to be quite hard to do any kind of nice detailing, I think. So if I had these over here, it means that if we do the same kind of roof, although we do not really want the same kind of roof, do we? Because this is a too wide one, so we don't even need really any additions. Do I want a window here? I might want a window there. Maybe we'll actually just have like a window here at the end, since we're probably gonna connect something over here with the stables. And then I guess the main thing is gonna be connecting those two, which might mean we just want to have at least these will go up, because we can snap from those two. And so it's going to be 2.5. That's how long this is. But that's fine. I feel like these pillars, we definitely just want to raise up all the way. I guess this wall probably we can just fill in, because if we're gonna try and connect the stables, it's probably gonna be from here. Oh wait, this is not interconnected. Let's make sure we don't leave any gaps. And I guess the biggest thing is gonna be, can we fit a roof on here? I mean, it should kind of work, although I'd probably want to snap it like that. So not all the way to the ends, because then we can fill in those gaps with the quarter ramps, and then we can still have the corners over here, which should look quite nice once we skin those. And then of course on the inside here, kind of just means that we'll have those slope walls up there. Yeah, this can be interconnected, so it is another room. We can have these quarters around, and then oh yeah, on this side we might want to have a window. Do we want to have a window? Maybe we'll have these smaller windows on this side. Might make more sense. I don't know, but it just feels maybe a little bit more natural that way. Yeah. It looks quite weird now, but obviously we're gonna skin it. So let's actually add in some of these windows that we might add, and then I guess we can go around and take out our skins. and see which ones we want to use. I don't think this is going to tell me. Yeah, it's not really going to tell me what skin I used for which wall. So I guess we'll just cover it together so that I can show you which ones I used. We're definitely going to use some of the pagoda structures of Golden Dynasty because I quite like those. And then from this one, we'll have to figure out which one I actually use. Let's just... I'm guessing this one. I don't really know. Let's see. Let's see if this... Oh, well, it is a window. But does it... Oh. Is that the variant I wanted? I don't know. We can try. I guess that is the variant I wanted. Because it's quite see-through here. It's a little less see-through over there, to be honest. But you can see outside. So maybe that is the one I want. So that would be a window. Those would be windows. That over there. And none over here. Hello there, welcome in. So yeah, I think... Honestly, I might use these over here. Although I do quite like this vibe too. I don't know why this one's so big, but that would be cool if you're building like a big castle-like building. So yeah, there we go. We can change the doors, and I think Golden Dynasty actually has some really nice round doors as well. So round wooden door. Yeah, look at that. That is quite cool, and I really like the colors of this wood. So let's actually get all of these out. And let's see what we can transform it into when we start using a few of these skins. This is the variant tool. It just lets me change variants more quickly. Or copy them. Is there only a lattice window? Thought there might have been more. So yeah, I think for the walls, I want to use these. Because I think they look quite nice. But yeah, I did not know that this is the only window. I mean, I guess it still works. I just thought there was more of like a wooden one maybe. Let's see. Let's bring out all of these skins so we can really transform this building. Yeah, if you're building with lots of cosmetics, the variant tool is definitely one you want, because it just makes life so much easier. Actually, it's definitely just something, the more skins they keep adding is some kind of a feature they need to work on in the base game as well, because it does get quite difficult or quite annoying and time consuming working with a lot of skins with variants and stuff. So who knows, maybe one day. Maybe one day. There we go. So yeah, you can instantly see that especially the roofs really get transformed once we start adding the Golden Dynasty skins. I really like these roofs in general. They really help us feel these vibes that we're trying to achieve. There we go. And then this one doesn't need any top beam so that we don't have the white line in the middle. We also might have to remove the ornaments on the inside, because otherwise we're gonna not have any room. So actually, besides the variant tool that we use, we also have this one, the Alpha Skin Gun, and that actually lets you not copy skins but copy settings. So I've set these settings, I can copy those, and then I can change the settings on all of these other roofs so that they do the same. Instead of having to interact with the menu every time, it just saves a lot of time working on bigger builds. So for example, if I copy now this setting of that little quarter one, I can paste it onto that one and you see it will change. We can paste it onto this one, paste it onto that one. There's actually a little gap here because unfortunately these quarter pieces don't have the longer version that the full pieces have. So what I might do is just expand these ones a little bit so that yeah, we don't have that little gap in there. This is Golden Dynasty. Well, most of it. There we go. And then I guess these ones we want ornaments only. And then we can copy that and paste that to these ones. So that removes again that little beam. We can kind of keep it here, to be honest. And then we'll remove it over there again. We want to keep it up here, of course, as extra details for the roofs. And then we can kind of also do it. I just told you the name. I just literally said it when I pulled it out and I showed you. It's the Alpha Skin. The Alpha Skin. If you search for that, you'll find it. Oh. Now I need to copy again. There we go. Let's do that for all the full walls. There we are. And then I guess we'll also want to change one of these to the board so I can copy those over. Yeah, this is such a time saver because especially with these skins with the menus, it can take quite a while otherwise to change all of the walls. And this just makes it that little bit easier. There we go. Yeah, and I love the wood textures of Golden Dynasty. I think those are so nice. Okay, we're gonna have to do a bunch of these little quarter walls. There we go. And a few more. The only thing I don't like about this mod is that it makes a sound every time I shoot, because that gets a little bit annoying at times. But you know, it's still so much faster than having to do this by hand and going into the menu every time. So it's still definitely a win. Let's see, we definitely want to have this one. Copy that over to those. And there we are. So we definitely want to add a few more details. I think we probably want to have some pillars over there, because I think that will look really nice. And then we also definitely want to change the skins on that, because yeah, we want those wood layers to match up, of course. There we go. And I do think that I might want to kind of work in those windows a little bit more. Well, honestly, what I kind of want to do, I don't know if that's going to work. I might have to remove the wall first for a little bit. Because then I have a thinner beam at the top. There we go. And I definitely... yeah, we want to have that be these pillars. Yeah, I think having the thin one, especially at the top, that kind of works. Maybe we even want to have the thin one everywhere, to be honest. So I guess we'll take out all of these pieces, and then we just want to make sure that we add in the thin pillars and beams. Yeah, let's actually have those, and then of course thin beams going across this entire frame. We already have it at the top there, and then here we obviously only needed at the top. Then we can fill in our walls again. Oh no, we need to do the skins first so we can still reach it, because sometimes skins are quite hard to reach, or at least these thin pillars are quite hard to reach when there's a wall already there. So that's why we want to probably do it in this order. There we go. There we are. That's all the windows, I think. I guess maybe we copy and paste the settings first. That might be easier. So we want to have this one so that it's not the round ones, but it is in fact these. Oh, how did I do that? No, that's not the one I need to copy. Okay, we need to make very sure that we shoot the thin pillars and don't change our walls by accident. There we go. And then we'll do some more around these different pieces. Awesome. And I guess we'll also go all the way around. So yeah, now we have the window frames in place. We should be able to add back our walls without issues now. There we go. Let's see if we can... oh, nope. Let's just... please. Please cooperate. There we go. So now we can place these all back into the different frames. And then, oh, we need the different gun again. And then we can get these nice frames. There we go. Can open the doors. Yeah, that's quite nice and cozy, I think. Very, very nice. And then we, of course, also want to change these. And then hopefully... this might be one. Oh, the framed one might be better. No, I think I like the framed one. Yeah. It's not quite a full window, but I think that will do. There we go. I think that's quite nice. And of course, it really helps building with these Golden Dynasty skins because, I mean, they just look very, very nice. There we go. We can do all those. Oh, we actually want to change these to the What is it? Solid wood wall. It was the second one, and I started on the wrong side of the wheel. There we go. We can frame those. We probably also want to do top beam only here, because let's be honest, it's quite busy otherwise in this little part. Wait, larger? Can I not do those without ornaments? The larger ones. Larger curved, no ornament. Was I just blind? I was just blind. Okay, good. There we go. Because otherwise it's a bit too busy here on the inside, I think. Now we can actually utilize the space. We have a little staircase to go up to the second layer here. We can, of course, change all these skins too. All the way around us. And then we just... Oh, not this one. We want to copy over the right wooden walls, so that this look up here also matches the rest of the building. There we go. Awesome. Okay, well this is already quite a cozy little house. I'd probably make like my kitchen in here, you know, do all the cooking there, and then we have more room for like storage over here, crafting in the middle, etc. So this would all be crafting and storage down here. Then probably like maybe cryos as soon as you reach that stage, and bedroom and personal storage up there. So that would be kind of the way I would do it, as a little starter home here. Quite like the way that looks so far. But what I'm going to try and do is add some small little dino stables here. I'm not quite sure whether we just... Do we want that as just a completely separate building? Because that would make it a lot easier to do as a base, because then you don't have to find a spot where it all has to line up on the same foundation. Because we could also just build like a separate snap here and build some stables just next to your build. Not everything needs to be connected all the time, right? Because then we could just kind of do like this as a snap point, for example. So it's a little bit more dynamic that way. I might actually do that, so we don't have to connect it up. That might be the way to go. So how big? What creature are we basing this off? What's an early game thing we might tame on this map? What would we be taming? Early Lost Colony. I guess it's all a bit dangerous out here, isn't it? But yeah, I do like the vibes of that. Especially with the big evil castle behind us, and we're just here building a very peaceful little haven on this cliff. You know, away from all the dangers and the issues. We're just building a little peaceful haven out here. Just having a good old time. Yeah, I guess a Vilwin. Vilwin's definitely something you'd have early on this map. That's kind of the main thing you want to get. Okay, let's see what we'll do. Maybe we'll do like some kind of layers to the building. Yeah, well, you know what we'll do? We'll lean into the Whirlwind bit, I think. And then we'll have a main kind of stably build up here, maybe. Hello there. Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, let's make sure that these fillers are all there. So yeah, this would be like kind of the main stables, but we need to figure out a little bit which creatures we want. So let's see. We want Veilwinds for sure. So we'll get 2 Veilwinds. What's like, there we go. We got 2 of those. They'll go into a little side building here, I think. Oh, why, ARK? Why did you need to destroy my pillar? So, let's see. So what I want to do here is basically we'll have 4 quarters there, just so that I can kind of offset these snap points. I guess I can't really have a pillar connect to that one. There we go. So that's going to be for the Veilwinds, so you can breed a few of them in there. And then we have a main stables right next to it. And should we just have doors like that or stairs like that into it? Probably. I mean, it kind of depends on, I guess, what the entrance is going to look like. Let's wait and see. Okay, so for this smaller part, I guess, is going to be Veilwind, so it's going to be a lot easier, isn't it? It's just going to be like a doorway here, I'd say. And then I guess we could kind of just do maybe something like, hello, can I, there we go, that's the snap I want. We can maybe do something like this over here so that we can have another one of those window frames back here. There we go. And then that means the top layer here is just going to be some slope walls on top of there too. And who knows, we'll add some windows there. And I think on the end of the building, we'll probably just have a full wall. There we go. So then this, of course, would just be simple ramp roof. Because this already should give us plenty of space on the inside to breed all Veilwinds. Oh, and then maybe we'll have, I mean, it's not necessarily early game, but maybe these tables can be for their evolutions. That would kind of make sense and kind of fit the vibe. So let's say, I haven't actually seen these much. The Soulwin and the Mailwin. There we go. Got the whole family together now. I guess. Oh. Yeah. I guess especially these fit quite well. Maybe we only should have the Soulwind because these ones probably are better in the Gothic builds. So maybe not, no evil here. Maybe only beautiful here. They do have quite long tails. That might be... We might have to make this one big thing. They have quite big tails. The question is, let's test this actually, because we already have a double door here. What kind of entrances? Oh god, I'm too heavy for this guy. Let me just quickly make sure that I can get him to move. There we go. So they do in fact fit through double doors. That is quite nice to know. Well, that means we could just have double door entrances. Or basically means that any entrance we make is big enough. Now, does it fit? It actually does fit in a 3x3. Even with the long tail. That's also quite good to know. Because then we could make these still into separate stables. Oh my god, they are quite beautiful, aren't they? There we go. Alright. I guess that means we kind of can place them everywhere. I'm just going to kind of ball these guys up, because then it's going to be a lot easier to get them into the right places. So this will be the Vilwin area. We'll probably decorate it. We could even have the companion beds in here and stuff, of course. And then this area, of course, is going to be for the soul winds. So I feel like that fits the vibe quite well. So that wall we can just kind of build up all the way. And we can start with having these quarter pieces go around. So it is going to be a similar roof as the main building. But then, of course, it's going to be designed as a stables. There we go. The companion beds are vanilla. Pet beds are now in the game. As long as you have Lost Colony. I don't think you can make them without buying Lost Colony, though. So yeah, so for this inside, probably what we'll do is so yeah, we want to make the pet beds. I mean, I guess we could have just some pets beds in general maybe in here. Why doesn't it let me? I just wanted to do... Okay, there we go. It's facing. So maybe we'll have some general pet beds in here. I don't know if the Vilwin... Does the Vilwin count? No, it's probably too big for one of these. So we'll need to have an actual companion bed here. And then maybe just for show... I mean, it's probably only going to sit in one. We'll have... another one in here. There we go. No worries. Thanks for tuning in. You can always watch it back later, of course. The companions will lay in the beds, and in the pet beds you can assign small creatures. So, for example, cosmos, dodos, anything that's like shoulder pet size. Can kind of fit in those, and yeah, can kind of relax in those, I suppose. Okay, let's see. We want to change these variants so we have a nice little window back there. We can have all of our small pets in here for now. Since I don't have an actual companion, I'm just gonna kind of put them on the beds. So that we, you know, get the idea of what this build is for. There we go. And you know what? Let's get a few other creatures in here. Just as decorations, we'll have... maybe we should have a few drakelings, actually. We can have definitely the winter, because of course that's this map about. But we can have the other drakelings in here, maybe. And then I always wanted Cosmo in here. And then we'll also add a little otter, because there's quite a few of those on the map, and they're actually quite useful. Oh god, I might have gotten myself stuck into cuteness. There we go. All of them here. So what we'll do over here is we'll have our winter drakeling. We can have our autumn. We can have a spring drakeling up here. All nicely placed. We can then have the summer one. We'll have our Cosmo in our otter friend right in there. And I mean, that already has livened up this whole place. I mean, look how cute this is. They're all in here together, having a good time. And then, what else should we have in here? Maybe the new, like, kind of cryo hospital we'll have in here. Just because that's one of the new things, and we'll have a normal cryo there as well. There we go. Lovely, lovely little area. Oh, this is gonna be the cutest room of this build. Look at him yawning in his new bed. There we are. That room already looks quite cozy, and especially, of course, if we then transform the room. Are we just gonna use the same structures? That is, of course, the Golden Dynasty ones. I really like the way they look. We also have some of these other roofs. Maybe we go for one of these roofs instead for this building. Maybe we'll go for a nice green roof. And I think... oh no, that's not the right gun. I think there's also some variants for these. Although that's not really gonna work over there, because it's the skin kind of leaves gaps. So I think we'll use this one. We could use it maybe on the main roof, but yeah, it kind of left. Although I guess this also leaves gaps. It's just because they curve up. Maybe we... but this one has a variant without the curve. Large. I guess it's just because the curve is too much. There we go. We want these. Yeah, now it should all meet up with everything. There we go. At least adding the roof on already does a lot for that. And then I guess for this building, we also just want to have a roof on here. There we go. So then we can, of course, add in our ramps all the way through. Same over there. And I think we'll just kind of connect these two sides, because we definitely don't need like a different layer on top of this build. So we can kind of just continue this. There we go. Now, how does this skin work? Because there seems to be a lot of gaps for this skin. Oh, that does look quite cool. Wait. So we could have this. Such unfortunate that that would leave a gap. Guess then we need to have the straight edges. Wait, does this leave a gap here too? I guess, but you don't notice it much. So maybe we'll go for the Golden Dynasty roofs and then we'll just paint them maybe. Because I do like the idea of some different colors on the roofs. But yeah. And I also like that these become a little bit longer, so they stick out a little bit more. Okay, well that really helps. We definitely need to change some of the roof variants here, of course, because it is very busy with all of these going on, as you can see. So for these ones, we need to make sure that it is shorts with ornaments, maybe. There we go. That one is the one, I think. Although that keeps those corners, so maybe we don't need curved at all. And we just need those. Yeah, that's the one we need, because we don't need the double curve in the roof. There we are. And then I guess these ones we just want to have no ornaments and no top beam. That's kind of the vibe, although I do like the ornaments. But then we have this randomly being there. So yeah, it is nicer to kind of have that still on the outside. That's for sure. Maybe we'll just see and try how much that helps. So I guess we can copy over some of these settings to save ourselves a bunch of times with interacting with all of these menus. So we'll kind of just change all those. We'll change these. And we'll go all the way around for all of these different buildings. And I guess then we can also do that for these corners. There we are. That should all line up now so that the roof is in its place. Although I might want to see if I can add, I don't remember quite if there's any details on here. What's that done? Oh, that's below. I guess that's just details below. I thought there might also have been... I guess the roof already kind of has the detail on top anyway. Or maybe was it kind of in like these things, maybe, that there's some kind of detail for the roof. Yeah, I guess we could have those. That could be quite nice. I don't remember which one I picked. Of course, I picked the last one I tried. There we go. That could kind of spice up the roof a little bit. Although, no, I think we could definitely have these here. Is it this one we want? I think maybe this one. Okay, so I guess the main thing we still need to do is going to be designing the rest of these stables, because we have a roof on it, but of course we'll need the actual structure. Let's first do these ceilings, because otherwise I'll definitely forget about where they were. We can do all of those. And we can do all of these on this side too. There we go. So yes, shape-wise, I think we're onto something. Now it's just a matter of what do we want to do build-wise and window-wise. Like, do I want to have those kind of windows? Because I don't think that fits the vibe for stables necessarily. So I think what I'll do is probably just kind of just fill in the walls like that, and then maybe have some of these windows over here. I think that could be quite nice. It's quite simple, but of course with the skins it's gonna look quite nice. And then I guess we definitely also kind of want a dividing wall here. Do I need to be any higher? No, probably not. Because honestly, we could have these and then yeah, probably something like that. Oh, that's not what I want. I want the open one. There we go. That's a nice divider because we can still kind of see the other side, but it's still separate enough. And I guess what we really want is, of course, have two in the same one so that you could be, you know, breathing them in there. And I guess we'll need two more for the other side to kind of finish that whole stable, or at least fill it up. Now we need a nice entrance for all of these, of course. We could go again for like the circular door. I think that probably would look quite nice for these entrances. And then I think on the side probably we're just gonna fill in the wall, and we might just keep it that simple. If that's all we need. I do quite like the round door. So we could have a glass door or the normal one. The glass door is quite nice because then you can actually see inside. That is quite cool. And then we could have them opened up, of course. Have them over here too. And then we can see the way we want these to be designed. Because of course we can make them a little bit nicer with some of the variants. Because we definitely want to have those in the middle, so we have the nice round doors. Maybe we'll close this one. So we have one open, one is closed. I think it probably makes the most sense then just to have the separate entrances. And I mean, let's see, but usually it doesn't actually. Oh, there we go. It does let me snap them to those sides. There we go. We have some stairs up into these tables, but I also think we can probably make these a little bit nicer. Do I want to have that one or this one? This one has the extra design in it. I think I want that. And then probably at the bottom I do want to have these wooden boards, because I think the wooden boards just look very nice. Of course, that means that whole wall's probably going to be the same. Let's actually copy this over to all the different sides. So for now, let's at least change all of these so that we can actually do that. Yeah, there we go. That's not what we want. We need this gun. So yeah, the bottom of all of these walls is going to be this wood, which I think is going to look quite nice. Is that going to be... No, that's not going to work for the windows, so we'll need to do those separately. I guess we can copy that somewhere over here. There we go. And then the top layers here, we can bring in these skins so that we can kind of see through, you know, some fresh air for creatures. Quite important. Because, I mean, they're well used to the cold. They live here after all. There we go. I think that already transforms it into something that looks quite nice. So then if we add these skins, I think we are getting quite a nice stables. And then of course we want to also start decorating or skinning this building, of course. There we are. So first of all, this layer of the quarter walls, I think that's a no-brainer. We're definitely just going to keep that as wooden walls. This door, however, do I also want to have that round? I mean, maybe I do keep it like that, just to be a little bit different than the other walls we've had, right? So yeah, we definitely want to have these around the entrance though. And I guess the full wooden walls is something we want around the back. Do we just do the side like that too? Or do we have these going on around the side? Might have these. So I can see more of my pets because they're so cute. Yeah. I think that definitely adds a little vibe. I think it's nice to have them as separate builds because as you see, it makes for a much more dynamic base if you don't connect them into one building. But yeah, now we have a little stables building for our soul win and our veil wins right next door, as well as some other pets. Let's actually get a few more soul win out here so that we can fill up the stables. There we go. So I have some nice soul win stables there. There we go. There we are. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice actually. And then there's definitely some like nice little details that we could add. We could have some kind of lanterns coming down, which is not necessarily starter base friendly, the lanterns that I would like to use, but they are going to add a lot of atmosphere, so I do want to share the tip. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get these tech lights on the very corners. And trust me, that's going to be worth it. Should I have them here on these corners, even though we're barely ever going to see them? Yes, we should. So we can have them on this main building here too. There we go. It's all gonna make sense as soon as we pull out the skins. And these the details that we're adding now is all part of the free skin, so the first one. Let's see. That is over here, and then we need the chair. Very important. The chair is the one you want, but as you can also see, there's actually a bunch of them, and there's so many hidden little secrets in them. I still definitely do not know all of the options, but yeah, we have some nice ones. Actually, I also want to have this one, so what I'm gonna add is a standing torch somewhere. I think we'll probably have that over here, and then we can add this fireworks box to the place, and then I think as soon as we power the flame, we're gonna see some magic. So actually, to make sure we can do that, let's make sure we have some meat, and we can have a pyromane, of course, the designated I need to power my flames creature. So we can have all those. Give him a bunch of meat. And now that's going to be powered, I think. Is it doing things? Oh yeah, there we go. It's actually shooting fireworks. I guess we might want to see which fireworks we like best. This one is pretty good. So yeah, it's actually in a very nice little decoration, because now you're going to just have fireworks. You know, we're getting close to New Year's. We're just gonna brighten the place up like that. And then the real secret, that's these chair skins. There's a lot of hidden things in there, but also for the tech lights, it's actually lanterns, and as you can see, they're moving in the wind, which is totally awesome. And it just adds so much life to your builds. Shout out to Chicken Man as well, that discovered all of these little hidden secrets. But yeah, look at that. That's so cool that we have like moving lanterns, and then I think there's a few little variants, even some bigger ones. I think I quite like. I guess we want the fancy ones maybe on the main building here. And then maybe we go either with that or these. There we go. And of course, if you actually power them, they will still give off light. But yeah, mostly just having them swinging in the wind, I think, is such a cool and nice addition to add a bunch of life to your builds. And I think probably, I mean, the stone is fine, but we might be able to make it look like even nicer. Maybe the dungeon one, because that's like a little bit darker, would be nice in contrast with the oh, it doesn't have stairs. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Maybe then the Viking, or maybe just the normal ones. Also, why is this one foundation not got to the exception for the snow? That's quite silly. But yeah, the detail of the moving lanterns, it's yeah, it is so nice, because it just adds a little bit of life to the place, you know. Just some little swinging lanterns in the wind, and then I mean we also have little fireworks in the background now. Definitely helps bringing the whole place to life a little bit more than, you know, you could necessarily do just with your normal builds. And I think, I mean, it's not going to necessarily be a very practical build, but I just want to have like a little bit of a little platform back here, almost like a little gazebo that we'll add, maybe like this. I actually only wanted 3 by 3. There we go. So just like that, I think. Yeah, and this could be, you know, just maybe a spot to hatch eggs, or eventually teleporters. I guess getting tech necessarily isn't too difficult on Lost Colony. So depending whether you're on a fresh playthrough or one where you have your character transferred, it might not be too difficult to get tech. So you could have like a little nice platform like this for your teleporter, but it could also just be a nice place to hatch creatures, I suppose. I just want to have a little gazebo around the edge of our build. So what we're gonna build is just that, just as a little, I mean, I like this spot a lot, and I think it just deserves a little something extra, because then we kind of have a nice little square here with this as a detail around the side. There we go. We can add some nice shapes over here. We want to have the corner pieces, of course. There we go. That's a good first layer. And there we go. Awesome teleporters. Yeah, that is a little bit of cheating, but you know, everyone plays in their own way, right? Like there's no wrong way of playing. I want to do something like this, I think, because I'm pretty sure, especially with the Golden Dynasty skin, I can make this look nice. You could of course have just a normal roof on there, but yeah, I think the Golden Dynasty has like these pagoda tops that you can add on top of these, and I think that's probably what I'm gonna go for. I think I want this one because that makes it round, which is quite a cool little detail. And then we obviously just want to have this layer be the normal roof. Well, we always also will have these, I suppose, transferred. There we go. And then, of course, the railings themselves. And I mean, it's just a little extra little bit, you know, just to give a little bit more character to your base. And again, teleporter spot, or maybe for hatching eggs, because if you add a few air conditionings here, this could be a nice spot. It gives you great views of the surroundings, that's for sure. But it just adds a little bit extra, I think. Just a little bit extra character. We do have those supports. Can I link those up? Not really. Well, I guess we could if we do these. Maybe that's what we do, just so that those supports that are under the skin actually make a little bit more sense. There we go. Yeah, and again, you could use this for many little things, but I think sometimes just adding these little things to add the character to your base helps a lot, just as the gateway. I mean, you could probably have a functional gate, but I like the look of this one. And we could still have a functioning gate on the outside, I suppose. But this would make for a nice little base spot, right? Because you have little stables, you got your little main house, and then maybe at some point you might want to upgrade, I guess. Or you could even build like a bigger building on top of the bridge. That would be pretty cool. Or build more on that side. But this feels like a good use of this little cliff face, you know? Have your own little base on here. I'm not quite sure how dangerous it normally is, because I removed the spawns here, of course. But yeah, feels quite nice. Feels quite peaceful. You could make some pathways yourselves, or, you know, I guess they kind of form when you run around in the snow. And then you have a lovely little base. So we have our stables here for a Soulwind, looking very, very cool in there. Then we have the little place for our Veilwind. Look at the cuties. And then we have some more pet displays just to, you know, utilize this little stables. I think that is actually probably my favorite little room here, but it's also just a very nice build, especially with the moving lanterns. I think that's just really, really cool, to be honest. And then we have, of course, the little starter base itself. Doesn't have any interior yet, of course, but decent amount of room. This is probably going to be my little kitchen area. And then we have some more space up here. And yeah, a nice cozy bedroom could be on here. And all this is, it's not too big or not too difficult to make, so you could definitely get this house built quite easily, and then you could start working on building your stables. You know, for, I mean, it's definitely not for big creatures, because right now it needs to fit through a double door. I guess you could change that around a little bit, but you can't really get anything too big unless you build a taller building. But I quite like that. And then for this map, you know, the Soulwind's not a bad thing to go after whenever you can. Of course, I don't know. They seem pretty difficult to get, so I don't know how easily you could get them. But I feel like that definitely gives some nice vibes to this whole place. You know, I quite like the way that looks. And then eventually, you know, you could get your very own Chinese dragon, and that would definitely solidify your little base like this. But yeah, I mean, it's not a very big base, but that wasn't the point. It was something that is hopefully pretty doable even early on in your ARK adventures, and I think it's a quite nice little cozy Chinese inspired base. As someone said at the start, a little homage to Mei Ying. Definitely feels like it is fitting on this map for sure. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the base done. Little starter base here. Definitely a really cool base location. Speaking of base locations, I'm still working on my best base location video for Lost Colony. I want to make sure that I have a decent variation of different base spots, and you know, since it is a brand new map with a lot of new mechanics, I wanted to make sure that I'm not just giving you spots that instantly lead to your death. Not gonna lie, a lot of the spots will probably have some deaths that go with them, just because in general it seems to be quite a dangerous and difficult map. But yeah, I like that vibe. It's a small little house. I could probably do a lot of my playthrough just playing with that, and then nice cozy little stables. And to be fair, you have a decent amount of space here still on this platform, so you could have a few more extra buildings, and especially if you build something on the bridge, this could be a really cool base spot. But yeah, we got some fireworks going off. We got the evil castle in the background. We have a pretty nice build altogether. I think I quite like the way this one turned out. I hope you guys did as well. Thank you so much for joining me today in this stream. As always, if you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to like the video and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is going to be it for today's stream. I'll be back very soon with more videos, and probably, you know, after the Christmas days. I don't know when I'll stream again, but probably after the Christmas days we'll be back with more streams, and of course plenty more Lost Colony and more builds to come. Fireworks is all part of the same skins that we've been using. All part of the same skins. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. For now, goodbye.